Hi there. I have a very small voice, I guess, in the world, but I try to make it as big as possible. And I have a couple of websites that attract some attention, but I'm not very good at it apparently, because otherwise I would have much more visitors. But it's very essential that you let your voice be heard. And really, democracy is that process, and it's not working right now. There's two big reasons why it's not working. Reason number one is that everybody's bought and sold. It's all for money. Supreme Court ruled that private companies, even foreign private companies, can invest and influence the political process in the U.S. And of course, another court ruling decided that the government cannot match private funds of an opponent. So the match is not equal anymore. It's basically the government is being bought at the moment. It's already bought. All the decisions, all the laws. There was a guy that really admitted that most of the laws are written by lobbyists. That means democracy is not working, and there is really, the only one that can get it to work is you, is the voter, and don't be too narrow-minded about that. You can call your congressperson or whatever representative you choose, and tell him what you think every day. And I think it would be a good thing to start doing that every day, because it's only like 50 euro cents or 50 or a quarter to write a letter or make a telephone call to a voicemail system of a congressperson, and simply tell them every day what you think. Then you get democracy. And if everybody does that, they'll go crazy, and they'll tell you, listen, we'll get organized. And the very simple idea is that you have to make a website where all the new laws are put up for referendum. Very simple. And then the representatives are there to explain to different people, because of course they want to be leaders. They want to explain to all the people why you have to vote for specific laws. So you can't have, for instance, some kind of healthcare repeal law put into some other law anymore. There's such an abuse of basically the way the system is organized, and you have to wonder why the system is organized in that way. It might be because people would like to be able to abuse it. And then you get a situation where an oil company goes like, yeah, but listen, I'm trying to get this law passed that you can have higher sulfur in your fuel, because the oil with less sulfur is running out, and the health regulations of the US prohibit me from having this high sulfur fuel. So how am I going to sell my oil in the US now if I cannot pass this law stealthily as part number 560,000 of a 1,200 page bill, that's passed on Sunday morning in the middle of the summer or when nobody's looking? Yeah, that's the whole point. You can't, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to do that, because you're making money of that, and you're using that money to lobby against alternative energies. Well, the alternative energies are the energies for the future. They are here to stay. If you have a renewable economy, which you can achieve with a cost of 7% of GDP annually for 30 years, I calculated a few days back, and it's probably 3% or 2% or 1%, so much less. Then you never have to do anything else again. If you have the windmills and the wave power and the geothermal power and the solar power, you never have to do anything else again. And the system is now so corrupt and undemocratic that that's not happening. You get Al Gore is of course a reviled person by today. People are making all kinds of funny movies, feel-good movies, and movies of hope and innovation can save the day. It's all complete and utter bullshit. Technology is here and now. You only have to build it and prioritize it. And the only ones that are causing it not to be prioritized are the energy companies and the oil companies. It's disgusting, I think. It's really utterly revolting to read that General Motors has this wheel hub motor of 25 kilowatts that you can install in every car and make it a roadster, basically. It's the electrical engine that's going to be most popular, and I'm 100% sure of that. So you remove the motor, you put some batteries in there, you put the wheel hub motors in the wheels, which is a slight adaptation. You can basically do that in a garage in I think a day or something like that, and your car's gone fucking further. No, that didn't came out very well. That is GM, General Motors. That means selling SUVs, with subsidies from the banks and lobbied subsidies from the government to fill the pockets of the oil companies that shouldn't be making profit from oil at all. Because at the same time you learn that the people in the Gulf region, Louisiana and such, are getting sick. Big surprise, they're getting sick. They're doused, they're basically submerged in an atmosphere that is a solvent to brain fat. You have in your brain, you have the nerves, they are isolated on the outside by myelin sheets. It's medical, it's simply the name of those things. And they are filled with fat to isolate the nerves so they work better, so they work faster. And benzene and all these hydrocarbons, they dissolve that fat. So the nerves are bare and they're slow. They don't work very well anymore, and you become retarded. That's what glue sniffers are, because there's benzene, which is a hydrocarbon, in glue as a solvent, and these people become retarded. And the whole Gulf Coast population is being degraded mentally by this atmosphere, and probably a lot of them will die. It's also a carcinogen. It's a poison, the whole atmosphere there. All these oil spill workers are on the threat of death, and will are on the threat of losing mental capability, because it doesn't grow back very easy, that myelin. It really doesn't. And if these nerves are gone because they're exposed, or they're, there's all kinds of chemical processes going on in the brain. I used to study that stuff. I used to be a neurophysiologist, researcher. It's horrible what that material does, And if you don't exercise your democratic right to tell your leaders what you think, and you don't wait for them to ask you, you simply tell them, and tell them every day for the next 100 days, this whole thing will turn around. And that's much better than having a revolution or a revolt, because that will only benefit the rich people that can hide themselves in their castles. What needs to be done is all these commercial laws. First of all, you have to have campaign funding reform, and not a process of many years to get that done. Simply one day, a decision. No more commercial campaigns. Everybody gets $100,000 to show up on prime time, which is reserved by decree on Fox News and all the other channels. Half an hour in the evening. That's the way you do it. It's not about money. It's about, I think, democracy and how you arrange things so you can share a good life with each other. And it really makes me completely sick to read about these oil spill and the complete lackadaisical, as they say in the US, retarded way that even these people that live in the fishermen that have lost their livelihoods and are cleaning up that stuff there and are basically dying. I think it's disgusting. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope you do something with this information.